You're going to be watching a short video made by the 6th graders that shows all multiplication and division facts we are going to be learning in the coming year. For all of the math topics we have covered in 5th and 6th grade math, we have used our multiplication and division facts. Math will be a whole lot easier for you if you take the time to practice and memorize your facts. Teachers are working very hard to get you ready for the harder math that is coming. So please take this serious and practice, 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 so that as you get older, math is easy for you. So now sit back, relax, and enjoy our video. And we're going to show you how to do least common multiple.
To find the LCM, you need to know all your multiples up to 12.
Also, you're going to need to know how to skip count, so remember your facts. We're going to show you sample counting really quick. 4 and 6. 4, 8, 12, 16. Now for the 6 and 6, 12, 24, and 30. And if you didn't see the common number, it's 12. We're going to do one more sample problem.
For my demonstration, we're going to do 5 and 3. 5, 10, 15, 20, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. If you didn't find it, it's 15. Very easy.
Please try this new concept at home, and if you don't get it, go on YouTube and check it out.
Thanks for watching.
We are going to explain why multiplication is so important in our everyday life. We are going to tell you about the GCF, also known as the greatest common factor.
A factor is a number that divides evenly into another number. For example, this is times what? 3 times 2 is 6, so 6 is the GCF. And then it's 3 and 6. And then 12 and 24, the GCF will be 24 because 12 times 2 is 24. And for the third example will be 12 and 6. 6 times 2 is 12, so 12 is 12 is the GCF.
That is why multiplication is so important in your everyday life.
Is reducing fractions. Reducing fractions is very easy if you learn your multiplication facts. Here's an example. Alright class, does anyone know how to reduce this fraction?
Yes, doesn't it need to make smaller?
Yes. Now what's the answer?
1/2.
If only I learned my facts in 3rd grade, this would be really easy. But how do we get that? We divide it by a number that both numbers have in common. But sometimes the numbers get bigger. Hannah, give me a number.
24, 36. You reduce it again, you get 12, 18. You reduce it again, you get 6 ninths, and your final answer would be 2/3.
So reducing fractions means to make smaller, and you can reduce more than once. Exactly.
If you learn your facts in 3rd grade, this would be very easy.
Today we're going to be telling you how multiplication facts and division facts can help you add and subtract fractions. We'll start with subtracting. If you want to subtract the following 3/4 minus 1/10, you could not do it like this. See the bottom two numbers? They're called denominators. In order to subtract fractions, you must have the denominators become the same. So you have to skip. Okay, you have it done really big ones. You skip. So you go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 20. Then you guys can do 10, 20. You already see that they have a number. That was wasteful time. If you know that 4 times 5 is 20, and 10 times 2 is 20, it saves you this. So you have to multiply everything by 5. So that would become 15, because 5 times 5 is 5 times 3 is 15. This would become 220, because 2 times 1 is 20. 15 minus 2 is 13. Multiplication and division facts are very important to subtracting fractions. This problem would be near impossible if you did not practice your facts every day. Thanks for watching.
Today we're going to talk
tell you how to multiply, why you need to know your multiplying facts. One thing that you will need to know is multiplying fractions. One thing in multiplying fractions is shortcuts. Shortcuts are when you reduce the numbers in a fraction to make it easier.
Here's an example. 10/18 times 3/5. You would shortcut where 10 and 5 are. Make the 10 a 2 and make a 5 a 1. Then you would do 3 and 18. That's where you would shortcut. Make a 3 a 1 and make the 18 a 6. Then you multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 6 times 1 is 6. And then you reduce to 1/3.
Also, you will do mixed numbers. The first step is changing the mixed number to an improper fraction. Then find the shortcut if you can do it. Then multiply it and get the answer. Then you change the answer back into the mixed number. In order to find this easy, you will have to practice your facts and make it become easier.
Here's another example for mixed numbers. 2 and 2/3 times 1 and 1/2. And then you would do 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8. That would be 8 terms. And 1/2. You would do 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 1. No, 2 times 1 is 2, and then plus the 1 is 3. 3 halves. And then you would multiply. And then you would get 8. You would get 8/3, and then times 3 halves. And then you would shortcut, and then you would get 3 halves, and then that would equal to 1/1/2. That's all we got.
See ya. Our topic is equivalent fractions.
Our topic is equivalent fractions. Equivalent is a fancy word just for equal. It uses multiplication facts to get the equivalent fraction. And knowing the facts helps us make it easier. Like if you multiply the denominator by the number 2, you multiply the number 2 to the numerator to get the equivalent fraction. And that helps because you wouldn't need to add the number with itself to get the equivalent fraction. This is how our multiplication facts make solving equivalent fractions easier.
1 times 2, you have to do 2 times 2 times 3 times 4. 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6, 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 4 is 24, and 12 times 4 is 48. And that's how you do equivalent fractions. What you have to do is times the big number by itself, the amount times the little number of exponents says. Here are some examples. 2 to the third power, 2 times 3 times 2 is 78. Root to the fourth power, 3 times 3 times 3 times 2 is 31. 2 to the second power, 2 times 2 is 1. Because of the steps. Always remember order matters. The answer goes least to greatest. Making a factor key is easy if you know your facts. The reason is if the number is 12, you need to know what 6 times 2 equals. For example, 12. You bring what equals 12 is 6 and 2. No, 2 is a prime number, so you'd circle it. And then 3 times 2 equals 6, and 2, so that's prime. The answer will be 2 to the second power times 3, 54. 6 times 9 equals 54, so 9 isn't prime nor 6. You bring down the 3 and then the 2, you both circle both numbers, and 9, which is 3 and 3. The answer would be 2 times 3 to the third power, 120. 60 times 2 equals 120. 2
2 is a prime number, where 60 isn't. Third, 2 would multiply into...
I want to talk about square roots. Does anyone know what square roots are?
Square roots are when you times a number by itself to get a number called a perfect square. What's a perfect square, you ask? A perfect square is a number that you get when you times a number by itself.
Here are some examples. 4 times 4 equals 16. 4 times 4 is a square root, and 16 is a perfect square. Same for 12 times 12 equals 144, and 6 times 6 equals 36. How do you know this, you ask? Because we know our facts.
Then it's